So fucking tired of being disappointed by men. I'm so fucking tired of getting hurt. I'm so fucking tired of men lying.
Women are done. We're done. Dating is no longer fun. It's not interesting. Nobody really wants to fall in love anymore. It's disappointing at this point. Like,
I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating black men.
Women, why do you have a boyfriend? Does that make any sense? You're tying yourself down to one person who probably doesn't even pay your bills.
Single Gen X ladies out there. If you're not a single Gen X lady, you can scroll by. But if you're a single Gen X man, you may want to stick around and listen too.
Hello guys, welcome to my new video. I'm calling it, I'm done. No more apps, no more talking stages, and no more settling for the bare minimum. I used to think I was the problem, but then I realized dating is just broken. Today I'm sharing the exact moment I realized I was exhausted with men, why the spark is dead, and what I'm doing with all this free time now that I'm not chasing a relationship. I spent a long time wondering why dating felt like a second job that I wasn't getting paid for. I realized that my social battery wasn't just low, it was drained by the constant cycle of meeting men who weren't ready for what I brought to the table. So, I stopped. I deleted the apps, I closed the door, and I finally breathed. Let's talk about the dating burnout nobody warns you about.
I'm so fucking tired of being disappointed by men. I'm so fucking tired of getting hurt. I'm so fucking tired of men lying and then calling it honesty. I'm so tired of men pretending like they want to be in a relationship with you and literally pretend and act like they are in a relationship with you just for them to turn around weeks later and say they don't want a relationship with you. So what the fuck were you doing the entire time? Were we playing pretend? How old are we? I thought we stopped playing pretend when we turned like 9. Why are we still doing it? Why are you a little boy in a man's body? Why have you not matured yet? Why do I have to be disappointed and feel like a fool every fucking time? I'm so tired, because from what I've also learned about guys is that they know right away. They know pretty early on if they see it with you or they don't, and they're not going to waste their fucking time if they don't see it, right? And I'm not talking about like just keeping you around, kind of breadcrumbing you just to like be able to get into your pants so that, you know, you go out on a night out so that they can text you at 2 a.m. and you come over. I'm just saying, like, I've gone through enough, I've been through enough that like I know the difference. I can usually spot the difference. I'm talking about guys that are coming over, cooking me dinner, hanging out multiple times a week, going on dates, paying for things. I'm meeting their friends, they're meeting my friends. Like, very much dating, right? So you can do all of the long-term relationshipy things with me, but then turn around and say you don't see the long-term relationship with me. Everyone's like, oh my god, Lindsay, how do you deal with heartache? How do you deal with like getting rejected and getting your feelings hurt? I like don't handle it well, but the more it happens, the better I become at just like fucking letting it go. I used to always turn it around and be like, okay, well, what happened and why me and what did I do wrong and why didn't he like me? Now there's no rhyme or reason. I've literally learned that it is nothing to do with me. And that's not to say I'm perfect. That's not to say that, like, you know, everyone has to like me. But it doesn't matter, honestly, what they tell me. It doesn't make it any better. So asking them, like, what went wrong, save yourself the fucking time. Save yourself the text message. Save yourself. They're gonna lie. You're never gonna get the real truth. Sucks to get excited about someone and to really put your time and energy and for it to be reciprocated and for it to be going well and then for it to be taken away from you without you understanding and without getting any type of like good reason. Because most likely it has nothing to do with you. Because honestly, I think he could see a long-term relationship with me because he wouldn't have done all that shit if he couldn't have. And it's something that he needs to deal with within himself. Either one, he's not ready for a long-term relationship, period. Not because it's with you, with anyone. And maybe you're the first girl that he actually started to see and feel a long-term relationship with. And he panicked. He freaked out. He had put his foot in the water and he panicked and got cold feet and basically blamed it on you. When in reality, he might have some unhealed trauma. isn't over his ex-girlfriend, is stressed out. Like, you never fucking know, but most of the time the guy is not going to take the responsibility or take the time to probably self-reflect and deep dive into why he can't see a relationship with you when you guys get along like a house on fire, and he probably won't find someone that he gets along better with in a while. And maybe he'll figure it out later and, you know, and be like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that. But by that point, it's going to be too fucking late. So I can sit here and boo-hoo and be upset and, you know, and try to hope that he figures out what he lost, or just understand that the person that you're meant to be with won't fucking, like, let you go and will realize how special the person in front of them is and won't do shit like this.
I don't go on dates anymore. I don't. I'm just always dreading the can I come over or do you want to come over conversation at the end of the date. Keep in mind, I'm talking about a first date. And I'll always make a face when they ask that. It's like they have a script. They'll be like, oh, I don't even really want to do anything. I just really like spending time with you. I don't want it to end. Very, very rarely does that not happen. But 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the conversation at the end of the date. Such an uncomfortable conversation because what I want to say is, fuck no. Why would I have a stranger in my home? And if I wanted you over, I would have invited you. I would have. But that's rude. And men are unpredictable, so I have to say it in a nice way, because if I say it in a mean way, there's no telling what will happen. So I have to say it in a nice way and be like, no, I have to be up early in the morning, or I just come up with something. And the scary thing is, it usually takes them some convincing to, like, drop that idea of me coming over or you coming over. So I decided to choose peace and say no to dates altogether, and if somebody is meant to be in my life, they will find me. But until then, I don't give a damn. I'm not going on no dates. And I'm really, really, really trying hard to sit here and think of the last date I've been on where he didn't ask that at the end of the date. I don't remember. I think it was back in May. And he was actually really, really cool. Really good guy. But other than that,
Women are done. We're done. Dating is no longer fun. It's not interesting. Nobody really wants to fall in love anymore. It's disappointing at this point. Like, you start getting the butterflies, you start feeling some type of way about a motherfucker, and then next time it's falling apart. Like, my man just instantly turns into my embarrassment, my fuck up, pretty much. So yeah, women aren't bitter. We're just done. We're tired of dating guys that have no intentions on marrying us, have no intentions on taking anything serious, period. I know all relationships don't lead to marriage, but most men go into it knowing damn well you're not their wife and will continue to entertain you anyway. So that's the fucking problem. The problem is not, you know, none of the other shit. It's just, you knew when you saw me or after the first few days that, you know, this ain't that. So why in the hell are you still feeding me, you know, bullshit, making me think that we're getting somewhere and we're not getting anywhere? And that's why a lot of women are done. We're done dating. We're done with the bullshit. We just give us our animals and a cup of coffee and a clean house and some music, and we'll make the shit work. Because, like, I hope what they call it, the male loneliness epidemic, I really hope that actually starts to ramp up a little bit, because they got game fucked up, obviously, because, like, they think they can continue to, like, do this bullshit to us, and we're supposed to continue to take it with a smile and not, like, buck. Motherfucker, I'm about to nut if you buck, because, you know what, I ain't doing none of that. How about that? How about you just stay over there, I stay over here, and then we good.
Fully aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating Black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another Black man is like 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together, and then they don't want to support us in return. They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us. But then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every single aspect. I don't know about the rest of my single folk, but every day single, I become less and less interested in the idea of a relationship or marriage. I've had my fair share of relationships. Some were okay, some were terrible. I genuinely just feel like there's nobody out there that I am compatible enough with to settle down. Maybe that's selfish of me, but I honestly don't care. I feel like so much of my life is centered around taking care of other people and not taking care of myself. When I think about my dreams for the future, it used to involve getting married, but I don't know if that's something I want anymore. I used to think being alone meant that I had to give in to the feeling of loneliness. And while I do feel that way sometimes, it's actually very freeing to be able to do what you want without having to answer to anybody. Maybe I'll change my mind eventually. I don't know.
That's the problem with so many other women in society that are single and dating, that they constantly give the best of themselves. They are constantly giving everything they have to a relationship. And even if it's not reciprocated, even if they're not seeing the effort on their end, in just a dating phase, they are cooking, they are cleaning, they are giving so much of them that they deplete themselves so much in that relationship, and typically with the man that never deserved it, so that when they are out of that relationship, they are so on empty. They are running on fumes that when it's time to potentially date again, they are just so over it.
Look, I looked at my life and realized my apartment is clean, my bills are paid, and my peace is protected. Why would I invite a maybe into my definitely? Why would I trade a quiet Sunday for a man who can't even choose a restaurant? We've stopped being picky and started being expensive. And I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about our time. Here is why the cost of dating a man in 2026 is officially too high for most of us.
So I'm officially done with dating because you men are just absolutely atrocious. So here's some things I did today without thinking about men. I went to go see my friend. She was in a play. And now I just made this delicious salad and I'm going over to my girlfriend's for a girls' night. And here's another thing I'm not doing, reading the comments of my video because they're atrocious. Toodles.
I've given up on men. I'm resigning 2025 over and out. Men are just a constant disappointment. The more time goes on and the more experiences I have, I genuinely feel like I will be happier on my own. And do you know what it is? I just feel like for me to be with someone, they've got to just bring something extra, no drama.
Women, why do you have a boyfriend? Does that make any sense? You're tying yourself down to one person who probably doesn't even pay your bills, invest in you, or help you build your life. He's getting access to your body, screwing up your pH balance. Why? So you can change your Facebook status so that you can be like everybody else, who's also as equally as stupid as people who are in relationships. Relationships never made sense to me, and now when I see people holding hands, I'm like, what a waste of time. What a waste of time. I hope that this little couple here only hangs out for a couple hours a day, and then he leaves her the hell alone so that she can build her life. Because if you're not actively helping a woman build her life, get out of it. That's right. We're not building a man anymore. Find a man who can build you, and even then, you don't need to tie yourself down until he proves to you for at least 2 years through dating only, no boyfriend, dating, that he's serious about you. Then you can put a ring on it, and then you can closely observe him a little bit more and make it okay to break up during the engagement process too. There's nothing wrong with that. Why are you tying yourself down to dirtbags, to little boys? Why are you in a relationship that wrecks your mental health? He's sitting on the couch eating your potato chips, watching Netflix, wasting your life. You could be free and independent, but you're tied down to a boyfriend because it sounds so fun. You'll have somebody to take to events. You're sacrificing your life so that you can have somebody on your arm. And you don't realize it yet, but you could get a lot of men. A lot. And you could get even hotter too. You're wasting your time with Bozo.
Just a little warning for men. If your woman goes quiet in an argument, You lost her. I feel like a lot of times in an argument when a woman speaks up is communicating her feelings, how she felt misunderstood, you men take it as an attack towards you. When a woman is constantly bringing up the same problem to you, it's because you haven't fixed it. Her continuously bringing it up is giving you an opportunity to change the problem, to fix the problem. When a woman goes dead silent in a conversation, and I'm talking about no facial expressions, just blank, not only is it because she realizes that you're manipulating the situation, but she realizes you don't care. And at this point, we don't care anymore because it's not worth our time. It's not worth, hey babe, this really made me uncomfortable. I was hoping you could do something to fix it. In our mind, we already know this man's not going to change. Why is it worth me stating my opinion multiple times when it's overlooked? I get spoken over. We know that you're stuck in your own ways, and what we just stated, you feel like your opinion overtops it, that what we said doesn't matter. And at that point, it's just like there's nothing more we can do. So men, if your woman is constantly bringing up something that's bothering you or fighting in an argument to keep the relationship working, just be thankful.
All right, so I want to talk to all you single Gen X ladies out there. If you're not a single Gen X lady, you can scroll by. But if you're a single Gen X man, you may want to stick around and listen too. So last night I posted a video and I asked a simple question. I asked if you are single in Gen X, why? And the response was overwhelming. And 80% of you were women. And I have over 1,000 comments on that video. And again, the vast majority, probably 80%, are women. And what I saw in so many of those comments is you guys are just tired. You're just tired of dealing with men. You're tired of being cheated on. You're tired of narcissists. You're tired of being a mother to your men. And something else that I didn't acknowledge was that a lot of you lost a spouse. You lost your husband. And you didn't ask for that. And as I read through all these comments, and they were coming in so fast I couldn't keep up. But as I was reading through them, one of the things that I felt was that as a group, us Gen X men really failed you. And I want to be clear, there's plenty of good guys out there. There's plenty of guys that have been hurt as well and that showed up for their partners and they were cheated on, or they weren't necessarily at fault for the relationship ending. But if the comments are any indicator, men have failed you overwhelmingly. And this is probably why it's so hard for a lot of us guys to find successful relationships at our age. Like I consider myself a good guy, right? I'm not perfect. I have things to work on, but I am working on them. Have I made mistakes in past relationships? Yes. Have I cheated? No, I've never done that. But have I, been poor at communication? Have I, I've made mistakes. I have been part of the reason why my marriage is, maybe even more than 50% of the reason, probably, why they didn't work. I mean, relationships are complicated. Marriage can be complicated. There's so many factors that can go into it not working out. People grow apart. We change as we age. If you get married in your 20s, you kind of really don't even know who you are yet. If you have two people that don't know who they are, it's not uncommon that they're going to drift apart because they're going to become completely different people. But let's be honest, there's a lot of assholes out there, especially now in the dating scene. And if you've been burned a number of times, I don't blame you for saying, screw this, I don't need it. Something else I want to address. A lot of guys have not done the work. They're the same person they have always been. And these guys are intimidated by an independent woman who has had enough of the bullshit. And I think either they give up or they go younger because they think they'll have more success. And I want to say that's not all men who go for younger women or any, huge age difference relationship. I don't think there's any, one reason for it. I think those relationships can be very successful. But I think if you have had a lot of bad experiences dating as a Gen X woman. I think that's what the kind of guys you're running into. That they don't want to do the work. And me personally, I want to be with somebody who inspires me to be better. I want to be with somebody that I admire. Somebody that I could even look up to. So I just wanted to put that out there. I just posted another video, which was more of, thought out. This was more off the cuff. Just how I was feeling. So, thanks.
I was just listening to a TikToker, and she is a dark-skinned woman, and she was just saying how she is pretty much giving up on relationships and dating. She said something along the lines of she feels like, men find her to be aggressive, and no matter what she does, even when she's being soft, even when she's crying, men typically feel like she's being aggressive, and they're always attributing aggression to her. And so you can tell she was really sad, and then she feels like giving up. So this is what I want to say. Doesn't matter your color, because everybody has, well, let me not say it doesn't matter your color. In this context, she's talking about her color. So let me just speak about the color. Let me just talk about the color, just to stay on topic, right? So if this is you, and you have that sort of like feeling where you feel like you feel judged by men because of your color, right? Here's what I want to offer, right? I know one thing to be true, right? Giving up on relationships is not the answer. Like, I know that for a fact, right? Giving up on relationships is not the answer at all, right? Let's say that's your experience, right? One thing I know for sure is our mindset. I say this all the time, and this is something that I hope that people can listen to. Your mindset and what you think about yourself plays a bigger role in what you experience in the world than what you think people think about you. Now, I know that sounds like a word salad, but hear me out, right? You have to understand that you are the most powerful creator in your world. We literally create through our thoughts. Thoughts are things. So if you want a different outcome, you have to think differently. Now, before you guys say, oh, I'm blaming her, stop. You hate having higher level conversations for some of you. If you don't want to have higher level conversations, just block me. Because honestly, I'm tired of feeling like I'm yelling at people that are like naysayers, right? Like, I just want to have better conversations. Everybody wants to argue about nonsense. This is what is fact. This is a fact, right? The world reflects and mirrors us. Now, let me just be clear. Are there, from the history, things that are still residual, people who, look at themselves and value whiteness and all those things? Sure. But this is what I believe. I don't know why I don't see myself. How can I explain this, right? If I say I'm not a loser, so I don't play that losing game, it's going to sound insensitive, right? But I just feel like I want to get what I want to get. Like, I don't know who needs to hear that mindset. I want what I want. So I won't let any excuse, not that she's making an excuse, but I won't let anything stop me from getting what I want. I just will not. I don't know why. I don't know where that comes from. Like, yes, the world might be this, but in my mind, I'm always like, well, that doesn't apply to me. Yes, you are dark skinned, but you know what? Are there dark skinned women who have challenges? But tell yourself, that doesn't apply to me. I'm going to do whatever is in my power. And she's gorgeous. That lady was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But I just wonder if how much of that feeling of men feel like dark-skinned women or men treat me differently is also oozing out in the relationship. I'm never blaming. I'm just having a conversation now, right? I just feel like she's so gorgeous, and I wonder if she didn't think about this as a problem and she just operated at her most feminine essence self and just kept that energy there and kept her thoughts on the positive things about life and who she is, and go ahead and enjoy your life and just be that buttery, sweet girl that you are, and kept your mind on that. I cannot imagine that you will not attract a high quality man who's like, I have to make her my wife. I don't know where she came from, but that is my wife. And before you guys say, oh, want to be chosen or whatever, oh, whatever. Like, whatever. Like, doesn't matter. Okay, like, you guys hate when I say choose. I don't know. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, ladies, right? Stop buying into, like, whatever your limitations are. Stop buying into your limitation. Whatever you think the limitations are, stop allowing yourself to buy into it. Sell yourself. Here's one thing I heard, and I never unhear it. Let me tell you what it is, right? I heard this, but I think it was Jim Rohn. He said something along it might have been him or not, but he said something along the lines of, right? You don't need to give me 100 excuses of why it won't work. All you need to give me is one reason why you think it won't work, and believe me, it won't work. So it's the same thing, right? It's like, you don't have to sell me on, oh, you're brown skin, you're dark skin, you're tall, you're short. I'm 5'11", okay? I am 5'11", right? I could have argued like, oh, my height, my da-da-da. Okay? Like, we all have things where we think that might be, all you need, ladies, listen up, is one reason why you think you're not the one and will not be the one, and I promise you, the world will mirror back to you your strongest belief. That's why I always say, do not go around people who have negative experiences around men. And if that's you, go heal it. If you have nothing but negative things to say about men, you will not see a good man coming. If you go back to there's a thing I just posted about Pop the Balloon, and this girl literally self-sabotaged the entire process. There's something running in her mind where the last 3 comments that came out of her mouth, she literally sabotaged the whole process. Is on my page. Go watch it. It's the only thing that shows Pop the Balloon, right? I'm just like, but there's something running in her mind, like, I gotta prove that I'm good enough. I gotta prove. Mess the whole conversation up. So what I'm saying is, rather than saying that the world, no man want a dark-skinned woman. How is that possible? There are dark-skinned women who are married. What are we saying? So I don't believe it. I don't want you to believe it. Because if you don't believe it, baby girl, you're going to show up so differently. You're going to show up knowing that you're wanted, that you're desired, right? And not in a way that's like, what is that thing when people just want you for temporary trying out? I forgot what it's, fetishes. No, not like that. No. Because of who you are. Because of who you are on the inside. And she really sounded like a sweetheart to me. If I'm being honest, like, I can hear when people are absolutely maddening. She just did not give that at all. And I just think she sounded so sad. And I just feel like I just want to, like, if I could just say something to her, it's like, don't allow yourself to go down that road. Don't allow yourself to think that way. Build your self-esteem back up. Build who you are back up. Don't make the men the enemy. Because here's the thing, right? If you build your self-esteem up and you make men the enemy, you messed up the whole process. Why would you make men the very thing you want to attract, the enemy? A lot of women do that. They come on this app. That's why you see me half the time when I'm yelling at those women, right? Like, don't make men the enemy. Don't make them the enemy. It's okay to heal, but the minute you make them the enemy, just like the red pillars that make women the enemy, but you want a woman. That's why you're literally upset. So then don't make them the enemy. Don't make men the enemy. Just heal. Operate at your best. Operate at your best. Put your best foot forward always, right? Even if you're taking a break, meaning just energetically, like I can't date and build my self-esteem back up just energetically, just for a moment, fine. But just saying I give up, that's not it. You didn't give up in any other area. I don't want you to give up on love. Okay? Take care.
At the end of the day, my life isn't a waiting room. I'm not sitting here holding out for a man to start my life. I'm living it right now. If dating is boring, it's because my own life is finally more interesting than the games people play. So, if you're exhausted, give yourself permission to stop. Delete the apps, take yourself on a date, and fall in love with your own peace. Because honestly, that's the most stable relationship you'll ever have. I know it's hard to admit that you're done, especially when society tells us we need a partner to be complete. But there is so much dignity in walking away from a table where respect isn't being served. You aren't bitter, you're just awake. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. Tell me the exact moment you realized you were exhausted with the dating scene. Subscribe if you're focused on your own growth lately, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.